Finals are done. That means I finally have some free time to do Pokemon stuff again. It's crazy. Not like I wasn't battling during my month and a half of hiatus. It's just that I wasn't battling much, and most of the battles sucked because I have high standards when it comes to uploading decent matches. So right now we have an OU battle against Okiesmokie from the Smoke North Battlefinder. I didn't check to see if he had a YouTube. That's kind of my bad. But this is that team I said that I changed from the team I battled with Nubs. I said I changed around. It's now this team. So that's a Scarf Rotom and a defensive Skarmory and then a Skarmory Gastro Core. And I just kind of kept the Latios and Brulumelex. I kind of like that ideal offensive core, so I kind of kept those guys, and I think something else from that team is the same. I think half the team's the same, I forget what, though. So I lead a Rotom because I figured that'd be the best overall lead, and he ends up leading off Ferrothorn. I decide I might as well just cripple it now, since I don't really think I'm going to need the Scarf or anything. Looking at his team overall isn't really that fast, so I just go for the Hydro Pump after I trick him to Scarf and lock him into Stealth Rocks, knowing he's going to switch. Goes into Celebi, so I'm just going to full switch out now, since I can, and why not. Just going to switch into my Verdict, knowing I can take a grass move or whatever else he wants to probably do to me, and he just goes for the safe Giga Drain and doesn't do much. So here it's obvious to go for the U-turn, no reason not to. Get the switch advantage if he switches, and if he stays in, he's gonna die since I am banded. So he does switch up into his Politoed, and this U-turn does a lot of damage, which should have been a green light from that point to figure this thing is probably an offensive Toad. But I wasn't really paying attention enough at the time to notice when I was battling. But I'm gonna switch into Loom, figuring that I probably will be faster. I'm gonna go for the low sweep in case he decides to switch out here. Do get a crit as the Celebi does switch in, so didn't really matter since he still is able to just recover it off if he really wants to. I still can't stay in here since he resists both my stabs, and stab moves is all I have on that Breloom. So I do go into Skarmory, predicting some sort of psychic move, and I can just get my rocks up now since there's nothing this Celebi can do to me. Since it does look like to be a defensive set, it's probably not going to carry the HP Fire. So I'm going to go for the Stealth Rocks. He switches into Sableye, and by the way, ew, Sableye, disgusting. I hate this thing. Hate it because it sucks, not because it's actually threatening. So switching to Latios because there's nothing he can really do to me. He ends up taunting my Skarmory, or trying to at least, and he does taunt my Latios on the switching. Just gonna go for the safe Surf, I believe, here, just because it rains up and I can get a good damage off on the majority of his team. Switches into Ferrothorn, which is a pretty safe switch for him. Still doesn't do much. And I am gonna switch out here just because I still want to lull him into thinking that I'm choice, and even if I wasn't, I know HP Fire won't be able to do much in the rain anyways, so switching in Fernip here just make the good play and goes for the Leech Seed, but he is locked into it, so he is going to have to switch out here, and I do know this, so I'm just going to go for the U-turn once again to grab the switch advantage. Switches into his Garchomp, and because of the rough skin, I'm not going to like the switch, but it still brings Garchomp to a point where it's a little less of a threat at this point of health. I'm going to go into Skarmory, knowing that since the rain is up, it's his own rain. I know he has no fire move to really threaten me with, so I know he's going to have to switch out here, so I'm going to go for the Whirlwind as he switches back into Sableye, so that's going to take some more hazard damage, and then he goes into his Kronk Elder here. Now here, I'm pretty sure that even though Kronk Elder can't do much to me, that he's probably going to stay in here, just because I Whirlwinded the last time, and he's probably going to play that. He's going to keep phasing me out game, so I'm going to go for the Brave Bird, and I can do a hefty chunk to him, and he does stay in here, and goes for the Drain Punch, and it does a little bit, because I'm a Skarmory. So it looks like another one will take him out, and seeing this, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't want to die at this point, because I think he's still going to want his Elder, so I am going to go for the Rooster, predicting that switch, and I do predict that like a boss. Just because I don't play much doesn't mean I still don't want to play this game. As he switches into his Ferrothorn, and I do get back up to sturdy, which is really good. I know this Ferrothorn really only thing he can do to me is go for the Leech Seed, and because he is choice, I'm going to switch into Breloom, take advantage of the fact that he's still Scarfed, and then now he has to switch out again, and I think I just go for the Bullet Seed, knowing I'm going to do a hefty chunk to the majority of his team, except for the Celebi, I guess, but I hit 3 times, still does an okay-ish, kind of-ish amount of damage, a little bit. I could Spore him here since I do know that I'm faster, but I don't really want to waste it at this point, since I'm still not really sure what this Celebi has to offer, because I do see the Psychic here, which I didn't see before, so I do know, I think, 3 of its moves now, I believe. So, probably some sort of status move is the last, but back into Latios, he's going to switch into Ferrothorn because this thing does hard counter me, especially in the rain, so I just go for the safe Surf. He switches into it again. Nothing I can really do about it. Because he isn't getting Lefty's gain, it's still really a losing battle for him to keep switching in, especially with the rocks as well, so this is still majorly in my favor, even though I think I haven't even killed a single one of his pokes yet. So I do go into Rotom here as he switches into Toad on my as he double switches from my Skarmory. He does Hydro Pump and takes me out for 1, which shows me this thing is definitely specs, and I probably should have switched into my Gastro instead, but I was kind of playing the more offensive switchy Volt Switch game, so I didn't do that, and that was kind of stupid on my part. Either way, going to Loom now, knowing he's locked in a Hydro Pump and I can live a hit. I'm going to go for the Low Sweep, which is into Celebi. Does a hefty chunk to him. Now I'm just going to go for the Spore, just to put him to sleep, because of how low he is now. I want to stop him from recovering, and then see if I can maybe get the 2 turns sleep and take him out with a couple of Bullet Seeds and Low Sweeps. He does switch out here to get the natural cure, so he isn't sleeping anymore, and now I do go for the safe Bullet Seed here, and I probably should have went for the Low Sweep, but I was kind of playing risky, I guess. Here, I go for the safe Low Sweep, and he is now going to switch again into his Sableye. The fact that he's switching this much, predicting me, really wouldn't matter to me so much, because I have hazards up, and it's really hurting him to keep switching like this, and it's just going to keep withering down his team to the point where I'll just have the advantage. Going to Ape now, since I know the word, he's probably just going to Will-O-Wisp, but I'm immune to it, so I do that. Going to go for the U-turn, thinking he may switch, but he actually carries a Confuse Ray on it, so he's going to get that Prankster Confuse Ray off and be able to confuse me, and luckily I don't hit myself, because the batted Confuse hit would probably kill me. And I do get a crit off the U-turn, didn't matter at all, and you'll see in the next turn, because I'm just gonna go into Latios, and I'm just gonna go for any move, and he'd die instantly. Surfer Trico will take him out of this range easily. He does go for the Confuse Ray first, tries to get the hacks, he actually does, which I don't see why he did that first, because he's just gonna have to recover anyways, which he's gonna do now, which I'm like, okay, and I'm going to kill you, because even if you were at full health, a Draco would still kill, and you're dead now, so that was useless. And I do not snap out of confusion second turn, which is kind of lucky on my part, which is good. So that's dead. Now and I did show that I'm now not choiced, which is cool, but just going to Toad now. I know I can't kill with the Draco at -2. I'm gonna go into Gastrodon, because I know I can take any hit, barring like a hidden power. He does go for the safe Hydro Pump. I grabbed the Storm Drain, which is kind of nice. I should have went for the Ice Beam here, knowing he would switch, but I really wasn't thinking at the time. I go for the Earthquake, which is really stupid on my part, because I think all of his team at this point was not going to like a +1 Ice Beam from a Gastro, so that was kind of a misplay on my part. I'm going to switch into Skarmory, fearing the Giga Drain, but he is going to predict my switch and go for the Recover. Which is fine, because I know the Brave Bird should still do a hefty chunk at this range. And this thing, judging by how much damage is taken from my Breloom, it looks to be specially defensive, so I should be fine on that regard. I go for the safe Brave Bird. And I think, yeah, it's a 2 KO on his Skarmory, on his Ferrothorn Durant plant thingy, so I'm just going to go for another one that's going to take out the thing. I'm going to take a lot of Brave Bird and Iron Barbs, but getting this thing out of the way gives a lot of leeway to my Latios, so it's really key that I was able to get out of the way, since now Latios can almost sweep his team from this point. So Politoed comes back, just going to go back into Gastrodon to play it safe. He ends up predicting this finally and goes for the Hidden Power Grass, which does not take me out, surprisingly, but it's not like it's really that big of a deal, since still is an easy to a KO. And I don't really feel a need for this thing anymore. I was really just bothering Gastro anyways if he predicted it, because like I said, now that Pharaoh's out of the way, Latios can run free on his team, so I'm gonna go into Latios now. I believe I just go for the safe Draco here, just take something out, or do I go for the Surf? I go for the Recover to get some health back, okay, fine. And yeah, that's all fine and dandy. I'm just gonna go for the Draco now, I believe. Take this thing out, or do I go for the HP5? I go for the HP5 just to see how much it would do, I guess, just because I wasn't sure how much it would do. And then he just kind of Giga Drains. I know he can't do anything to me, so I kind of was half predicting him to switch out as well. So I go for the Surf here. Again, I'm thinking he's gonna switch here, because he can't hit me with anything. He does end up switching, goes into his Kronk Elder, and a Surf with the Rain is easily gonna take it out, and that thing is gonna die really easily. And that's good. Now he's gonna switch into his Garchomp here, and I'm thinking this thing could be Scarf, since most of them are, but at the same time, I don't really feel like I need Latios for the rest of his team. If he locks himself in Outrage, it's beneficial for me anyways, because I just go into Scarf. So I decided to stay in, go for the Draco, try to call his bluff Scarf. He ends up switching back into his Politoed, which makes me think that he isn't Scarfed, but he was just double switching, predicting me to predict that. So he ends up going back into his Garchomp. He does turn out to be Scarf, locks himself in the Outrage. Now I can go in for an Ape. I don't know why I did this. I was just curious to see how much Mach Punch would do, and it doesn't do enough to take it out, which really doesn't matter, because all I have left is what, Skarmory and Breloom, right? If I remember correctly. So I go into Skarm. I know I can win the game from here. I'm just going to go for the Whirlwind, knowing that he has to switch because he's locked in Outrage. And I know that since his own Rain is up, like I said before, he has no fire move to hit me with, so I know he probably can't kill me with it. And the worst he could do is, what, Stone Edge? Or is Outrage stronger? No, Stone Edge is stronger. But he didn't want to miss. So after the Outrage, does like nothing. Going to go for the Brave Bird. Going to take out the Garchomp, even with the Ruskin and the Recoil, I have enough to live. And then all he has left is Celebi, which I've only seen Psychic and Giga Drain from. Either which can take me out even at this range, and I can just take him out with a Brave Bird. So that is going to be a 2-0 and a good game. Where did Breloom die? I'm pretty sure Breloom didn't die. Maybe Breloom did die and that's a 1-0. I don't know. Whatever. That was a really good game, and I had to speed that one up a lot more than usual, because that was like a 4-turn match. So yeah, that was a good game, and yeah, I'm back to uploading this craziness. So I'll see you guys later.